Learning English can be overwhelming at times, especially because there's so many phrases, idioms, and expressions to learn. So in this video, I've put together 15 commonly used business expressions that are used in a business setting, of course. Now, what I want you to do, I need you to watch this video as often as you need to and to practice. You can also get a copy or a transcript of this lesson in the link below. Now, these expressions will help you to sound more natural, and it will also help you to understand what is being said around you. So, ready? Let's go. All right, so let's jump in. Now, the first one, get down to business. Get down to business. Now, the meaning of this is to start talking about serious business, stop all the small talk, and to actually start the meeting or the presentation. So, here is an example. All right, everyone, let's get down to business. Time to get to work. Okay, now let's look at the second one. Take the floor. Take the floor. Now, what this means is it's someone's turn, or they will be presenting now, as you can see in the example here. She has the floor because she's currently presenting. So this is when you're going to speak to a group of people or make a presentation. So when it's your turn to take the floor, it's your turn to speak or to present. So an example, Mike will take the floor after the introductions. Good. Let's go to the third one. To stay on top of something. To stay on top of something. Now, what this means is that you're going to stay focused on a particular situation or maybe a project. So you're going to continuously be aware of what's going on with it, right? You're going to pay close attention to it. So example, if you want that promotion, you're going to have to stay on top of things. This means that this person has to remain focused, if they want this promotion. Okay, let's go to the other one. Ballpark figure, very commonly used. All right, now ballpark figure, this is an estimation, right? It's an estimation of a figure of what something will cost. So it's just giving somebody an idea of what it will cost. It is not an exact figure. So the example goes, this is just a ballpark figure. You will get a formal quotation later this week. So it's just a ballpark figure, giving them an idea of what the actual cost will be. Okay? Next, we have to think outside the box. To think outside the box. Now, this is where you think creatively, yeah? You think of unusual ways or different ways of doing something, different from what is actually being done now. So an example is, in order to win this competition, we need to think outside the box. So they have to come up with something creative, right? Something unusual, so that they can win the competition. Yes? All right. Next, not going to fly. Not going to fly. Let me just move myself a little bit out of the way. Right. Now, this is when something is not going to work out. It's not going to happen. So let's look at the example. I have to complete this report as handing it in late is not going to fly with my boss. So that means I have to complete the report by the deadline that I was given. because I cannot tell my boss that I'm going to hand it in late. Maybe it's a special project or something, but not going to fly, I mean it's just not going to happen. Okay? That's very commonly used, by the way, in business settings. All right? Keep one's eye on the ball. Keep one's eye on the ball. Now, this means you have to really stay focused and be careful with everything that you're doing. So you're paying close attention to everything that you're doing, right? So, for example, to get this promotion, I need to keep my eye on the ball. This is very similar with to stay on top of something. Keep one's eye on the ball. You remember that idiom, to stay on top of something? They are similar in meaning, and they have the same meaning. Okay, good. Let's go to the other one. Back to the drawing board. Now, nobody likes to go back to the drawing board. Let me just say that. I know personally that I don't. Now, this means like you've handed in, or maybe you've done a proposal, or you did a report and it was rejected, right? The client may not have liked it, or your boss or supervisor or whoever didn't like it, and you have to go back to the drawing board, which means that you have to start over again. Okay, so let me move myself out of the way once more and let's read this sentence. Our clients rejected our proposal, so we have to go back to the drawing board. So we got to start again, start over. Yes. All right. Next one, to corner the market. Now, this means, let's say a particular company is doing very well in selling a particular product or a service, like they are dominating that space. They're the leaders in that space, right? So, for example, the company quickly cornered the market in desktop software. So, depending on who you talk to, some may say Samsung has cornered the market in the mobile world, or others may say Apple have done so. So that's what it means to corner the market. They're leaders in that particular product, or service that they offer. All right, let's go to this one. Hands are tied. Hands are tied. Now, this means that there's nothing more that I can do, even if I wanted to. So even if I wanted to help you, there's nothing that I could really do. My hands are tied. So I know you want that new job, but my hands are tied. So even if I had the power to help you to get that new job, there's nothing I can do because my hands are tied. And there are many reasons why someone's hands can be tied. But once they say that to you, you know that there's nothing that they can do. All right. Up in the air. Up in the air is our next one. Up in the air. Good. Now, the whole project is still up in the air. Up in the air means it's unresolved. There is no clear decision or direction. It's up in the air. So if the project is still up in the air, it's not sure whether we will continue with this project or where this project is going at the moment. So it's up in the air. Now let's look at the other one. To learn the ropes. Now, this is very, very common, especially when you are starting a new role. You don't necessarily have to be new to the company, but maybe you're starting a new role, or you have gotten additional responsibilities. Okay? So to learn the ropes. So that's learning a special way of doing something from a particular company, because every company Every company has their own way of doing things, right? Here we go. As a new employee, you have to learn the ropes before you can be promoted. Of course, that's normal, right? To learn the ropes. So let's go to the other one, a learning curve. A learning curve. Now, this means like a period of time that you take to learn a new skill or new concept. So let's look at the example. This new project management system requires a steep learning curve. And when you see the word steep here, it means it's not an easy process. So it's going to take a while to learn this new PMS, this new project management system, because it requires a steep learning curve. So maybe there are different new technologies that you have to learn, a new skill that you have to learn. But once you see steep, you know that it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, or they say as easy as ABC. No, 1, 2, 3. But steep learning curve. Okay, let's go to the other one. By the book. Now, this means you are following the rules directly. You're not trying to do things differently. So, example, our manager prefers everything to be done by the book. So, this means that your manager likes you to do things the way it is laid out in the company's policy and sticking by the rules. They don't like to go outside of that. Okay? By the book. And the last one, but a very, very common one in today's business world, is between a rock and a hard place. Right? So the board had to make a decision immediately. They were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes. So what this means is like you have choices, but none of the choices are actually desirable, right? So you may have two choices to make, either A or B, but you don't like either one of them. Either one of those choices are not going to really serve you well, and it's probably not in your best interest. So when the board had to make a decision immediately, but they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. So it was a very difficult decision that had to be made, because quite likely the outcome was not going to be in their favor. So those are the 15 idioms for you. Remember, practice, practice, practice. Great job on completing today's lesson. All 15 expressions that we went through, you can see them here. Remember to go in the links below and you can get the audio transcript of this lesson. Keep practicing and I'll see you in the next one.